Back on the SportsMax zone, we're going to talk some cricket now. The Jamaica Scorpions, who had not won any of their opening games, won by an innings and 14 runs in just 3 days over the Windward Volcanoes in round 3 of the West Indies 4-day championship being played in Trinidad and Tobago. And a big performance by the Jamaican bowlers, with Nicholson, Gordon and the company doing really well in this fixture. And the Volcanoes, pretty disappointing. Joint bottom of the table, the Volcanoes were with the Jamaica Scorpions in this series, and the Volcanoes continue to struggle. The 40-year-old Devon Smith still playing in the 4-day game. I think he has retired from the white ball game, but he wasn't able to help the Windward's Volcanoes.
Not at all, but despite that, what I've noticed is the teams that have lost, before the break, Georgia and Lance, they've come back stronger. It's as if the rest period really helped them. And I'm happy to see Jamaica's Brandon King today making a century when they batted. So he actually helped Jamaica to this win, which is a plus. And apart from Brandon King, a lot of other batsmen have been stepping up and getting centuries. And that's something that we should commend, because, many a times when it's time to suit up in the Windies clothes, we have issues with players not making centuries where Test cricket is concerned.
I'm looking at this round for others other than the usual suspects to step forward.
Yeah.
And, there was a century from a spinner. We were talking about it yesterday. It was Gudakesh Moti.
Yeah, and he batted number 9.
And so I'm very happy to see. I was very happy to see. For me, that's my performance of the round so far.
Yeah. Agreed.
Gudakesh Moti's century, because nobody would have expected that. But he's advertising an aspect of his well-being that not many people, except those who probably would have been close to him and would have nurtured it, would have known that he had that element to his that aspect to his talent. So I'm looking for the usual suspects. Yes, Devon Smith, as you noted, still around, still making runs, still making his presence felt. But I want to see some new men stand up and be counted, hold their hands up.
I also want to mention Karen Powell, because he had a good knock. Yeah, he had 139 and 83, and that's also commendable, because it shows that it was not just a one-off, because the second time he batted he put on 83 runs. So I'm looking forward to see him continue being consistent throughout.
Yeah, about that, going back to that Gudakesh Moti 100 though against the Barbadians, and the Barbadians following on today, despite a Shea Hope 100, he made 119, but he was the only Barbados batsman that stood up. It comes back to the question of playing names and playing what's on paper, because as we had done in our preview show earlier this week, the Barbados team, having 8 test players, would have been favourites in this game. But they're being humbled in a big way by the Ghana Harpy Eagles, and the Harpy Eagles have done really, really well. Their bowling has dominated Barbados all out for 266 in reply to 494-7 in their second innings, 44 without loss, and they may be able to avoid defeat here. But a very solid performance by the Harpy Eagles against Barbados roster that on paper,
it's almost a test team.
Yeah, looked impressive.
And you're speaking about being humbled, and I have to say, when we started this test, Trinidad and Barbados were at the top on, full amount of points and whatnot. And then when we look at it right now, George and Lance, Trinidad and Tobago, their batting collapsed. I have to say, they collapsed.
The thing is this, I'm always watching the regional 4-day competition, and I'm focused on just 2 things, I must admit.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the performances of opening batsmen, because I maintain, I've long said it here on the zone, I've often said it here on the zone, and I maintain there is a vacancy at test opener for the West Indies. There's at least one, because, okay, Craig is our captain, and he's there, but we still, at the other end, there's a vacancy there, and there's been a vacancy for a while. I need someone to step up and claim that place that is vacant. I also need someone, because there is nothing much, I don't think, between our spinners. Whether we have a few left-handers that we haggle over when we're convening a West Indies squad, if you want Pramal in, or if you want Warwickon in, or if you want that other spinner in. I don't think there's daylight between any of them. So what will do it for me is a spinner who can also score good runs. And one swallow doesn't a summer make, one century doesn't an all-rounder make. But the signs from Moti are that along with his bowling, he recognizes that if he can add something else to his armory, then he can get that play. So I'm looking at an opener stepping forward, and I'm looking at a slow bowler who can also score good lower order runs, because I think if too many merge in those two areas, then there's a test place for them the next time we have a test team selected.
Yeah, so just to put the wrap on what happened today in the championship, there's a Shea Hope 100, 119. Veerasamy Permaul picking up 4 wickets, 4 for 81. The Harpy Eagles 490 for 4 declared. The Barbados Pride 266 all out, and following on 44 without loss. In the Jamaica game that has been completed, the Windward's Volcanoes bowled up for 195 in their second innings. 5-wicket performances by Jamie Merchant and Derval Green. Both of them picked up fifers, and that is what propelled the Jamaica team to the victory over the Windwards. There was a fighting knock from Joshua De Silva for TNT in their effort, with 140 all out, replying to the Leewards 357. The Leewards in their second innings, 241 for 7 declared, and TNT 143 for 6 in their second innings. So that battle is also turning into a direction that most people didn't expect, because TNT second in the table and expected to do well against the Leewards, especially that the game is being played in TNT.
That's
so the
TNT
TNT team in familiar conditions, but they are being dominated by the Leewards team, players like Jeremiah Louis and so on doing well for the Leewards.
Question, just remind me, the Diego Martin ground, that's where most of the runs have been scored in this round so far? Because it's a small ground, so I was saying to Moran beforehand that I expect, well, that the players will be clearing the boundaries with regularity, because it will be smaller than the other two venues being used at Queen's Park.
No, not really, because that's where the Leewards, that's the Leewards.
Well, there you go.
It's a Queen's Park game. It's a Queen's Park Oval game that Guyana made 490 for 7.
Yeah.
The Diego Martin game is where TNT made 140 all out.
Yeah,
and
so
are 143 for 6 in their second innings.
Wicked tough. The wicket is tough.
So
that becomes a problem, eh?
All right.
Okay, so we're almost finished with our La Liga giveaways questions, but before we go in this segment, here's the next question. It's question number 4, which requires you to guess the team. This team has won 11 La Liga titles. They were founded in 1903. They've won 20 matches so far this La Liga season. Reminder, responses must have the question number, the participant's name and country. They must be submitted to the Zone WhatsApp number 876-564-7661 for the answer. So put your answers in.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and to click the notification bell to stay informed.